Hello, this is Compound Interest Stock Guy, and today I'm going to be talking about the Global Cannabis Stock Index. I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation with Harvest One, and I'm going to look at the stocks chart with Harvest One, and I'm going to weigh in on Canopy growth. Bruce Linton leaving, so stay tuned. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the bell down below so you're notified when I upload a video. Give me thumbs up, I appreciate it. Helps the algorithm so more people can see my videos. I also want to disclose I'm not a financial advisor. This is just for entertainment information. Do not buy or sell based on anything I talk about in this video. Buy or sell after you did your research, your due diligence, and you like the investments you're pursuing. So yeah, I'm out around near Metro Vancouver right now, just with family, and so I'm able to do a video. So yeah, I actually am kind of proud of my channel. I mean, it's not a humongous accomplishment, but it's just the first step in me getting more well known in the as a cannabis uh, someone who really understands the industry and talks about the industry and makes videos. So my channel just got over 10,000 views, so it's pretty good accomplishment. I think the next accomplishment, I guess, would be to get 100,000 views and maybe get up to about 1,000 subscribers. And yeah, I mean, who knows when that'll happen, but I mean, it's a goal I guess I'm gonna work towards. And I guess I just need to get a little better video content with audio. That would be better. And with cell phone, maybe get a lav mic, things of that nature, so I can kind of just have a little better content. But I mean, I'm not gonna say it's gonna happen tomorrow, but I mean, it's a work in progress. Anyways, so let's talk about Canopy growth. Okay, so my take is Constellation Brands, they got rid of Bruce Linton because Bruce Linton was in as financially responsible with the money that Constellation Brands, and they didn't want him spending like a drunk sailor, buying everything in earshot. So they had to get rid of him, and that they're working on getting someone who's a lot more superior. In their interim right now, which was the co-CEO, is Mark Sakulin. So that's pretty cool. I think they're gonna get someone big, whether it's the Constellation guy that just left Constellation Brands that's gonna step up as the CEO, or someone else of a really high caliber. Because Bruce wasn't gonna get Canopy to be profitable in the next 3 years, in my honest opinion. I just don't think he's cut out for that. He's cut out for starting companies and building the business and all that stuff, and really getting brand awareness and getting capital to build the business, and that's really his go-to strategy. But as far as being a profitable leader, I don't think that's really under his tool belt. I don't think that's really so. And now that the industry is trending towards more profitability instead of just expanding, because there's still going to be a lot of expenses, and there's going to be losses and all that, but the companies really need to work towards getting EBITDA positive and working towards getting a net income eventually in the next 3 years. And that's why they need new leaders to take charge. And the the guys that were exploring, and they were getting the good assets around the globe, they have a they're worth something towards the industry and building the vision for the company. But as far as having a sustainable business, those aren't the same people. Some people can adapt and they can do both, I think. I mean, I don't know enough about all these businesses to understand who that would be, but you look at someone such as Elon Musk, and he's at the same kind of uh, you know visionary guy that Bruce Linton kind of was, and that he wants to just like create all this. But as far as creating a sustainable, profitable business, who knows if Elon Musk will be able to keep that. You know, maybe he needs to leave as CEO and get someone who's a more sustainable and cost effective leader. But maybe Elon could do it. But as far as Bruce Linton, I don't think he could do it, and that's why he's got terminated. Unfortunately, I mean, that's sad for him. I mean, I'm not saying that's good that he got terminated, but I mean, I think I'm pretty sure I spoke about that. If people would watch all my videos all the way through, that I've talked about, I think that Canopy, because Constellation was talking about their losing cash, so they weren't happy about the Canopy's results. So when I heard that, I just knew that was a warning signal that in the next 6 to 12 months, that Bruce was he's gonna get out the door. So I was right, but I wasn't right about my time. But you can only be so right about some things, unless you're sitting in the board and you're working for the company, you're talking to people who work for the company and you get some insider leaks. You're not going to know everything going on. You can only speculate and do the proper due diligence to get a gauge on what the outcome will be. So I think I did fine as far as my belief that Bruce was going to be gone, and it's not going to be the last. For all we know, maybe Cam Batley gets booted in the next year or so. Bruce is like the Gorenstein, forget his first name, but he runs Chronos. Maybe someone from Altria will end up taking over the CEO. But I think you look okay. So let's look into the total value in market that was traded today. So there was $392 million dollars worth of shares traded in Canopy Growth, and this is in U.S. funds. And Chronos was in 59 million, almost 60 million in funds. So they're the number two, and then Aurora, and then Scott's Miracle-Gro, which is a profitable company, and they're working with flower. And Innovative Industrial Properties is 36 million, and then Tilray at 32, and GW at 27, and CanTrust at 13, and Charlotte's Web at 12.5, and Afria and Hexo, and Akerna and Village Farms. So these are I've been talking recently about the funnel effect. So the funnel effect is where all the big money goes into these companies and then they start going up a lot. I mean, now because there's a lot of money in market cap, there needs to be a lot of values that goes into this, and buying it up or selling it down to really move the price up or down a lot. So these companies can be a lot more stable. But when the market moves, these companies could move a lot. You could see Chronos go to $30 before the end of the year. You could see Canopy go to maybe 80 US. Aurora go to 15 US. Tilray go to 100. Even more maybe. But that's the state we're in. But you just look like Chronos is getting the second amount of value. So what is Chronos doing? Chronos isn't making a lot of money in revenues, but they're not making the same amount of big losses that Aurora and Canopy are doing. So what they want to do is they want to have a more scientific approach towards their whole recreational and medical vision, so that they want to have biosynthetics. So instead of needing like 1 gram to make so and so how much infused beverages or edibles, if you have or medical capsules. This is from CanTrust. It's Live, and it's 10 milligrams CBD and less than 1 milligram of THC. So these are capsules, and see, CanTrust works with Apotex, which is a generic, a big generic pharmaceutical company. So you look at these pills, right? So who's to say when they have advanced biosynthetics, that CannTrust isn't going to use the same formula and really grow a house of brands and get patents and clinical trials and really work towards a lot of you know drugs on the market that are generic drugs with apotex. So you could have this, what could be like 10 milligrams CBD, and it could have some terpenes, or it could have some THCV, it could have some CBG, CBN, and all these different compounds in them at a certain amount of milligrams per capsule, and then they make a patent on it that this is good for PTSD. It could be good for sleep pain. I mean, not sleep pain, but like sleep problems, insomnia, things of that nature. And this is kind of where the industry's going. And Chronos Group wants to be a big medical company, I think. So the biosynthetics, but they also want to be a big rec company as well. And so I think the biosynthetics, it'll work in synergy so that they don't need to grow as many kilograms as everybody thinks they need to grow and at the moment. So that's going to cut down their cost per gram. So say it costs them $2 or $3 per gram to grow cannabis. When they do the biosynthetics, it could do it for like 20 times cheaper. So instead of $2 or $3, it's going to cost them maybe 10 cents or 15 cents per gram. And then they make it into all types of consumer packaged goods, and then they're making crazy profits. So I think that's why you're seeing a lot of value being put into Chronos today. I mean, you see it works around with Tilray being the number 2 and Aurora being the number 2 and GW being the number 2, but Canopy is usually number 1, but it's just something to look at. Anyways, let's look into Harvest One on the chart first. So Harvest One is one of my big picks for I think it's number 4 for my top 7 picks for legalization 2.0, which will be around October to end of December. And that I'm not really certain when the hype's going to die down. I think that when it gets legalized around October, I think there will be a big sell-off. And then I think as soon as the products come out, maybe like 2 or 3 weeks before, like end of November to early December, when certain products such as Hexo and Canopy and some other companies have their products coming out to the market first, then as soon as every product comes, there'll be maybe a 2 or 3 week hype period, and then it'll sell off when they go to the market. That's just kind of my thinking. I'm trying to do more understanding because it's a lot different than the legalization that happened a year ago, where in my hindsight, everybody should have sold all their stocks around October 10th to October 15th and got out of it. But I didn't see it coming, and I thought it was going to keep going up, and maybe I thought there was going to be another big capital injection by another company, maybe Hexo or Tilray or who knows, Afria or whatever, and it would be a lot more momentum. But I was wrong, and I'm okay to say that I was wrong, because these markets are tough. You're not always going to be on the right side of the tracks. Yeah, so this is a doji on the monthly. So it looks as it's lower highs and it's just hitting a floor. And as soon as hype's going, it almost looks as it's going to explode and go to $1. Now, Delivra just got finished being acquired, and Delivra has Live Relief, and they're in Loblaws and Shoppers Drug Mart. They might be in Save-On, but they're in a host of superstores across Canada. And last quarter they sold $1 million. On top of why Delivra is a great, they paid about $20 million, and they're going to be converted to shares. So it says there are 185 million shares out. So I think there was about 40 million shares. So they're going to get about 0.59. So it's going to add about another 20 to 25 million shares to the float. So then we're looking at about 205 to 210 million shares out, which isn't a whole lot, and they have some cash still. I think like 25 maybe. The last quarter they were at 29, and so I'd like to see the warrants get accelerated come uh, soon, because there's some warrants that are for $1, and they need to hit a 10-day VWAP of 169, I believe. And then as soon as it hits that, then all the warrants will be called in. So that's good. Those are good till 2021, and that would give them, I'm not sure exactly how much money, but it would give them, if all those warrants got put in, I think it would give them maybe $10 million. I think there's 10 or 11 million shares and then at the $1 strike. And then there's another warrants out for 230 strike, and those are going to expire in January 30th, 2020. So if it goes to say $3 or $3.50 before the end of the year, and that would give them about a 700 million market cap, then their warrants they'll be in the money. They'll be worth like about $1 to $1.15 or something if it goes to 3.50, and 75 cents if it goes to $3. And those could get, a lot of them could get called in. I think there's about 20 million warrants, and then they could get, or maybe there's only 10, but I think they'd get about 20 to 30 million if they have a marketing new manager to kind of promote the story. So I think just the new revenues. So we're going to get into the kind of presentation and talk about how the business is moving forward. So their recreational is United Greeneries, and Greenbelt Greenhouse was a type of vegetable company, and they're taking over that greenhouse. I don't know when it's going to get licensed fully, but they're trying to do extraction from that facility and maybe some cultivation as well. But I think it's primarily for extraction, if my memory serves me. And United Greeneries is in Duncan, BC, and they also have a Lucky Lake facility that's 60,000 square feet that should get licensed in the next month or so. So that'll be a big catalyst for Harvest One moving forward, that they'll have, a lot more square feet so they can grow around, I think they intend to do 20,000 kgs by the end of the year. That's their run rate. So that's pretty decent. But what their whole value proposition is, that they have Satifarm, which is gel capsules, and they're at Shoppers Drug Mart with flour. And then Delivra is topical products. So if they have buy hemp, or they buy wholesale flour, and then they turn more products into CBD and THC Delivra topical products, that would add a lot of value to the company, because on top of Delivra, their margins are insanely high. They have about a 77% margin on their profit margin on their products. So when they get into the 10 to the 15 million in sales, when they have a 77% margin every quarter, that'll be 7.7 to around $10 million in profit, and they don't spend that much money. So that's really going to hit their bottom line, and it's going to get them to net income a lot faster than a lot of people think. Phytotech Therapeutics is in Israel, which they're doing research. So the consumer products is Dreamwater, and I'd argue that consumer products is also Delivra in a sense, but it's also medical and health. But Dreamwater has products. They have we're gonna get through the product line. And Burp, they own a 20% ownership in their retail strategy, and they have a facility that was open on just recently, I think about a month ago, and it's they own 20%, and they're gonna have another store somewhere in the suburbs of Metro Vancouver, and they also sell clothing. Chuck Rifke with Oxley also is invested. I think Harvest One, I think, invested $2 or either $3 million into this company, and Oxley invested $750,000 to get them going. But they've been in Forbes magazine for their business, and they have really good clothing line. So I mean, people should look at Harvest One. There's a lot of good things going for them. So it's saying Canada, United Greeneries licensed producer, deliver topicals and creams. Yeah, they sell topicals and creams that are 20 to 40 bucks, and they're very big sellers in Canada. They're one of the biggest topical lines, and with topicals becoming legal for legalization 2.0, that's going to add a lot of value when they have some products in CBD. On top of that, if they go to USA, which it says in the news release that they intend to use the same kind of distribution networks that they use for Dream Water in USA, which are in Kroger's and Walmart, and then they're going to have the deliver products be in those locations as well. Now, if they get the Dream Water and the deliver in CBD, that's going to be a big catalyst for the company. Greenbelt Greenhouse, greater access to supply, manufacturing, and in-house extraction. Yeah, exactly, extraction, as I was saying. Currently selling online in UK and throughout the EU. So they're in Holland and Barrett or Barrick on the online store for they sell products with their Satifarm gel capsules. So that's great. Israel, Phytotech Therapeutics Research and Development and administers clinical trials using Satifarm capsules. So the Satifarm, the gel pill capsules are really neat. They're little gels. They're little like pellet kind of. There's just a bunch of pellets in the and then they go into the capsule, and it gets in your bloodstream very quick. So it's a pretty cool technology. One of the first medical sold in the country for Australia. So here's where Dreamwater is, as I was kind of blindly stating all these, but here's all these things, not blindly, but I just didn't know all of them. Walmart, London Drugs, Pharmacy, Shoppers Drug Mart, Loblaws, and do you know why they acquired Dreamwater? Why? Because the CEO, Grant Freeze, worked for Loblaws, and I think he knew that this would be a great product to add to their product line, because he knew that the profit margins were great, and he sees it adding a lot of value to the company. So Rexall, Amazon.com, CVS Health, Sobeys, Albertson Safeway, Meijer, Tops, Hudson News, Kroger's, K, Wegmans, Winn-Dixie, 7-Eleven, Core-Mart, GSC, Corner Store, Pilot Flying, Fairmont Hotels and Resorts, Four Seasons. Wow, big Y. That's awesome. So Deliver is in Walmart, London Drugs, Pharmaprix, Pharmasave, Jean Coutu, Shoppers Drug Mart, Loblaws, Fortinos, Lawton Drugs, Guardian, Rexall, Sobeys Pharmacy, IDA, Brunet. Yeah, so you see the Deliver products are in kind of more medical ones as well. I mean, there's Rexall's as a medical, and Shoppers and London Drugs and Pharmacy, but then you got IDA, which is very much just all medical products, and Rexall and Guardian, and yeah, I mean they're both pretty big as far as, but there's a lot more distribution in Dreamwater. So United Greeneries is in BC Cannabis Stores, the Ontario Cannabis, and Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, and they're in Satifarm, they're in Shopify, wow, and Health House, Shoppers Drug Mart, and HL Pharma. So they have Royal High in their Duncan facility. It's good for 1,000 kilograms. And Captain's Choice modular expansion, 2,500 kilograms, and offtake source 2,500 to 5,500 kgs Q3 2019. So they're doing a modular expansion, and I did get to the facility. I wasn't able to get into it, so it looked as though maybe that's right behind that, and I saw it, but it didn't. I took the photos, but it didn't work out on my SD card. So, but I was at the facility, outside the gate, Lucky Lake facility in Saskatchewan, and that's going to be good for 11,000. And they're talking Q4, so that's, I think we're in Q2. Maybe it's going to be Q3. Maybe it's Q3 right now. Actually, July to October, I think, is Q3. So Q4 is going to be, I think, around October to January, somewhere around that timeline. So year end 2019, 20,000 kgs. So this is the Duncan facility, 16,000 square feet existing facility, 13 acres additional land for expansion. I don't know where that 13 acres of land for expansion is, because the land didn't seem very big where it was. It's close to the Indian Reserve, I believe, and so I'm not sure exactly where the land is. I don't think it's on the same property. It just didn't seem that big. It seemed more maybe like 3 acres, but or 2 acres or less. So I'm not sure. This is 68,000 square feet, 23 acres, 11,000 kgs. So they're talking about focused on premium indoor craft grown flower and potentially outdoor hemp cultivation. I'd love to hear more about their hemp cultivation. So Cantra says if they don't put in their seeds in the ground for cannabis by August, they're not going to do an outdoor grow, which is smart because you only got so much time in the year when you're in cold areas. Now, if you're in BC, you have a little more time. But yeah, greenhouse extraction, 152,000 square feet. This is the Greenbelt greenhouse in Ontario. Focus on extraction and derivative products, 42,000. So that's going to be all their edibles, their Dreamwater CBD line, their maybe their shatter, and all that other good stuff. That's very high profits. 42,000 square feet processing facility, 15,000 kgs per annum. Retrofit underway Q4. So that's going to be a big catalyst, because that's a lot of square footage. When they're moving from 16,000 square feet and then they add 68,000, they're going to be at 80,000, and then they're adding, oh, that's like 200,000 square feet. Yeah, they're going to be close to 300,000 square feet. So just with their distribution agreements and all their products that they have lined up for legalization 2.0, I think there's a lot of value here. And that's why I've been invested in this company since about January-ish. 2000. This is a capital capacity expansion under triple current, 4 modules for their 2,000 square feet of additional cultivation. Phase 1 construction completion anticipated Q2. So it should be done pretty soon. Haven't heard anything about that though. Lucky Lake facility. So labor requirements, research and develop, education alliance with universities, colleges, and tech schools, tech savings and grants, power and infrastructure support. First harvest expected in Q1 2020 and licensing expected in Q4 2019. And it's adjacent to CN rail line and airport. That's a great thing to have. You want to be close to airports so you can ship the products very efficiently. You don't need to spend a lot of money on delivery trucks. I mean, obviously there'll be delivery trucks to get to different stores and all that stuff, but as far as to get a direct, if you're growing say 10,000 kilograms and you're able to just ship off 1,000 kilograms towards Edmonton the next day, that'll be a big advantage to the company, and then they can send it to the dispensaries in Edmonton, and then maybe it'll go to the Calgary airport, and then it'll be shipped off to the dispensaries. That's how it goes. That's the way the way I like to see it, close to airports. Efficiency. This is a very efficient company, in my honest opinion. They're not going to be the biggest revenue company, but I think they're going to be very efficient, great profit margins. Outdoor growing, well, I haven't heard anything. I was getting excited about this, but it doesn't kind of look like it's going to happen. As it, at least on 2019, but maybe in 2020, 390 acres, 98 acres of prime agriculture land in BC. That would be great, and I wish they would do it because they've been evaluating plans for test site for viability of strains in the BC environment. So this is their Satifarm CBD gel capsules, 50 milligrams, and then 10 milligram gel pills. So these are 10 milligrams, and those are gonna be 10 milligrams. But 50 milligram CBD gel pills, I'd love to try them. I'd love to see them on the rec market. That'd be a great selling. Which are 2 millimeter in length, the gelatin beads. Yeah, these are the beads, and they go into the capsule, and they contain full spectrum CBD hemp-based extract, including terpenes and flavonoids. So that's great. Hemp-based increase the bioavailability of CBD and the body's absorption of cannabinoids when ingested. The gel create a microemulsion which substantially enhances the oral bioavailability of the cannabinoids and helps ensure accurate and consistent doses. So you see the clinical trials, they're taking, this is for pain and spasticity for MS. So that's great. They're working on that. And the results were demonstrable safety and tolerable profile with no significant side effects, higher bioavailability of active compounds in comparison to GW Pharmaceuticals spray sativix. So they're getting greater results than GW Pharmaceutical, but they're not getting any hype from this, right? Nobody even knows that this exists. 8 hours exposure time in the blood. Phase 2 trial, capsules for reducing seizure frequency in children with refractory or treatment-resistant epilepsy. Significantly reduced monthly seizures in treatment-resistant children. The median reduction was minus 82%. So if someone's getting, say, 10 seizures a month, then now with using these capsules, they're only getting about 1.8 seizures a month. If that's how I'm reading it, which sounds as if I'm reading it correct. 56% of patients had a reduction of at least 50% in total number of seizures. So this is in treatment-resistant children. So sometimes you get the products and they just don't work. So this is for people that are having problems getting it into their blood system. This is why it's effectively working a lot better. And 73% said they're being very much improved in overall condition. So that sounds very good results. I'm actually very impressed. I've read this before, but reading it again just puts it back into my mind that this company's got a lot of great things going for it. So only 10 other LPs have agreements with Shoppers Drug Mart. So they have Sati White, which is high THC, Sati Silver, medium THC, and THC 1x1 is Sati Green, and Sati Blue would be I think maybe low CBD, and Sati Purple high CBD. So that's pretty cool. They got them all colored. And then you look at these that are launching in 2019. Soft gels, spray. I like this topical cream. I'm really impressed. I would want to see this company really get their groove going with their topical cream. I think topical cream is just such a great product. I have a video on Abacus, and I believe they're FDA approved, so they can say that their product for topical can improve people, Whereas Curaleaf, they're in CVS, they cannot say that same thing. So they can't say that they're a medical product. They can just say that they are a topical product, and they can't say any medical benefits. But when you get and you're if this product really has been approved by the FDA, which it may do in the future, that'll be a big, big, big thing for Satifarm and Harvest One moving forward. And they have a vapor pen and Satifarm CBD THC. So these are the products. I have tried the Live Relief product. I tried the lowest dose one, like not the extra strength, but they have all these different products, and I bought it in a smaller bottle, and I did find it to be beneficial for my body pain. I think they have some good products. I think the branding on this is very nice. It's very sleek. They're in Loblaws. I've seen lots of them in being Loblaws, and they sold $1 million in sales last quarter at very, very high margins. So I like that. They have just closed that in the last day or so. So moving forward, all the sales for Delivra are going to be on Harvest One's balance sheet. So last quarter they did somewhere like 3.3 million or 3 million. So you're going to add next quarter, maybe they even do even more sales with cannabis and all that stuff, so they could be getting up to 5 million with the added of Delivra. And moving forward, when they get into the USA, they could start doing $2 to $5 million a quarter, and I'd really like to see them get FDA approved so they can say that their product does help. And it says it uses FDA approved non-medicinal for a worldwide finished product, etc. Advil, ibuprofen cream. So that's great. Strong IP with 7 patent pending applications, 4 registered. Yep, I think it's great. So they're a market leader in natural topical creams. #1 selling natural pain relief in Canada. #1 selling nerve pain relief in Canada. Focus on research and development. Ready to market cannabis products with a robust product pipeline over the next 3 to 6 months, which include meloxicam, anti-inflammatory and topical analgesics. Product available in 6,000 retail locations through McKesson banners, London Drugs, Rexall, Shoppers, Drug Mart, Walmart, and Loblaw. I love it. 6,000 retail locations, that's a great thing to have, and they're just going to get even bigger. You're going to start seeing them in the USA. Now they have the connection with Harvest One, which owns Dream Water, that has tons of distribution in the USA. Dream Water. NSF certified for sports program. This allows us to sell products to professional sports teams who undertake drug testing. So they're in Walmart, as I've said, and they recently hired multiple senior sales executives, formerly at Red Bull Canada and the Coca-Cola Company. I love that. Over 30 million units sold in Canada and the United States, and over 30,000 outlets. Dream Water is an all-natural liquid sleep shot and sleep powder which help promote relaxation and restful sleep. So they're going to have great products, and look down below, it's going to be great. Look at this stuff. Dream Water CBD, Dream Water Gummy, Snoozeberry CBD, Dream Water Snoozeberry CBD, Dream Water Sleepy Citrus CBD Gummy, Dream Water Sleepy Citrus, Dream Water Nighttime Nectar Gummy, Dream Water Nighttime Nectar CBD, Dream Water Beauty CBD Spray, Dream Water Beauty CBD, Dream Water CBD Beauty, Dream Water Sport CBD Spray, Dream Water Sport CBD Gummy, Dream Water CBD Sport, Dream Water CBD Snoozeberry. So this is a host of products. some of these products are going to do really good, some aren't so well, but they can pick and choose the ones that are doing the best, and they can have them in more stores. They can make more of them. I mean, I think that's just great. This is the Burp. So they have estimating opening 8 to 10 retail outlets in British Columbia, received municipal approvals for 2 stores in Port Coquitlam. So they already have 1 store running, first store open operation, and is currently waiting for a license to sell cannabis. So they can't sell cannabis yet. Maybe they can now. Actually, I think I would have heard it on the news release, so they probably can't do that now. But any day now, they may get it, and that'll be good for Harvest One. So Grant Freeze is a former Loblaws chief operating officer with 38 years of experience in distribution, retail, and CPG. So that is a guy you want to lead the company. For this company, they're not just a cannabis company, they're health and wellness. And they're going to work together with CBD to create integrated products that are going to be a global success, and they're going to eventually get great profits, I believe. I'm not going to go through all, but they have David Hyde on the advisory board. That's great. And Will Stewart, he's a well-known Canadian cannabis exec and leading influencer in the cannabis industry. He's worked for years in political and corporate circles, pushing for legalization and reducing stigma. So as of May 31st, there was 34 million warrants at 75 cents to 230, and options 17 million. So, and their debt is 280,000. Very little debt. 52-week low, 32 cents to 115. And MMJ Holdings, which is a big group that invests in companies, own 30% of the company. So that's great. Analyst coverage, Mackey Research has a $2 price target, and Haywood Securities has a $125 price target. That's great. So yeah, they're February when they posted record revenues of 3.7 million. So they bought Deliver for approximately 18 million, and now it's already closed. This is a June corporate presentation, and they only paid $6.5 million for cash and shares of that Greenbelt greenhouse. So I think that's a great score for them. They're going to make that into a world-class facility, I believe. So there you have it. You can get a hold of investor relations at this number, 1-877-915-7934, or investor@harvestone.com. Or you can check out this presentation at Harvest One. So I appreciate you for listening to this presentation about Harvest One and going through all the details about my take on Canopy growth, Bruce Linton, and the chart with Harvest One, and getting you some knowledge on the industry. I hope you really enjoyed this video. You gained some insight, and until next time, peace.